This is the Yacht Club de Monaco. At first glance, it's just a marina, polished decks, white hulls, quite champagne, but beneath the surface, it's something else entirely. A private network of wealth, power, and influence where billionaires dock more than boats. They dock ideas and access begins long before you ever see the shore. At first glance, it might seem like just another marina. Rows of gleaming boats, manicured docks, champagne and fluted glasses. But clubs like the Yacht Club de Monaco or the marina at Christophe Harbor in St. Kitts aren't just about where you dock, their entire ecosystem's built around a very specific kind of luxury. The kind that's quieter, more exclusive and tailored to people who are already used to privacy on a global scale. These are not walk-in spots. Memberships are limited, often invitation only, and they exist as much for who they keep out as who they let in. The Yacht Club de Monaco is probably the most famous. It's hosted everything from classic regattas to fundraising events that bring in European royalty and Hollywood A-listers. Leonardo DiCaprio has been seen arriving by tender, often during the Cannes Film Festival circuit, while Bono and David Geffen have anchored nearby. Geffen's yacht, Rising Sun, is hard to miss. It's a $400 million floating palace that used to be co-owned by Larry Ellison. It's more than a boat, it's a statement. And when Rising Sun ties up near a club like this, the dynamic shifts. The yacht itself becomes an extension of the club, with guests shuttled back and forth in black RIBs, security working quietly in the background, and staff operating on muscle memory. In places like the Canouan Island and the Grenadines, there is even more discretion. Soho House runs a by-appointment only setup on the island that sees just a handful of arrivals each week. It's not about being seen, it's about not being noticed at all, and that's part of the appeal. These clubs aren't just where celebrities go, it's where they go when they want to feel like regular people again, just an environment's custom built for their needs. The marina at Christophe Harbor, for example, includes villas built into the hills above the docks, so guests can arrive by sea and disappear within minutes. Everything is choreographed, from customs clearance to groceries already being stocked on board. And these aren't just visitors, in some cases they're investors or partial owners. Celebrities aren't only attending these clubs, they're shaping them. Real estate behind the docks is often bought up by trusts or LLCs tied to high-profile names, and sometimes the clubs themselves carry silent financial backing from household names. But these places don't just attract stars, they're built for them, often with their names and money behind the scenes. If there is one place where money, fame, and privacy intersect almost perfectly, it's the high-end yacht scene. But it's not just about owning the boat anymore, it's about where you dock it, who you share the space with, and what kind of access you're buying into. Some of the most exclusive yacht clubs in the world aren't advertised or listed on any travel site. They exist through invite-only networks, private investments, and celebrity backing. David Geffen is a central figure in this world. His yacht, Rising Sun, is more than a floating palace. It's become a kind of mobile members-only club. At over 450 feet long, it's been known to host some of the biggest names in entertainment. During one summer cruise through the Mediterranean, guests included Leonardo DiCaprio, Oprah Winfrey, and Karlie Kloss. Geffen is not officially tied to a specific club like the Yacht Club de Monaco, but his presence at elite ports like Saint-Tropez and Capri often draws media attention and sets the tone for where others want to be. Leonardo DiCaprio and Orlando Bloom have both been spotted multiple times at Mediterranean marinas that cater to the ultra-wealthy. While they may not own the dock, their consistent presence and their guest lists help shape the scene. These marinas often double as social hubs, with private events during festivals like Cannes and Monaco's Grand Prix. In many cases, it's the yachts themselves that become the venue. Roman Abramovich's Eclipse, estimated at $500 million, is one of the largest private yachts in the world. While he's better known for owning Chelsea FC than acting in films, his yacht is a legend in luxury circles. It includes a missile defense system, 2 helipads, and a mini submarine. When Eclipse is docked, it often signals that a major event is either underway or about to happen, especially at high-profile Mediterranean ports. More recently, people like Tom Brady, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé have entered the scene. They've all been spotted aboard yachts docked at private clubs or hosting invite-only parties offshore. Jeff Bezos has also made headlines with Koru, his custom sailing yacht that debuted in 2023. It's one of the largest sailing yachts in the world and often travels with a support vessel, essentially a floating garage for toys, tenders, and even a helicopter. Some celebrities go even further and invest in coastal developments themselves. Richard Branson's Necker Island includes private dock access and attracts high-profile guests year-round. It blurs the line between resort, private residence, and exclusive yacht club. So when these stars gather, what kind of luxury are we actually talking about? What sets these yacht clubs apart isn't just the boats, it's the layers of service and exclusivity built around them. At places like the Yacht Club de Monaco, owning a super yacht doesn't even get you through the door. Membership is curated, and a private berth alone can cost millions just to lease, not own. That price tag doesn't just buy a parking spot for your boat, it gives you access to a world where everything runs quietly in the background, often before you've even asked for it. Security is handled with precision. You don't see it, but it's there. Teams that sweep docks before big arrivals, privacy protocols that block drone activity, and bodyguards that blend in with crew uniforms. Guests don't check in at a front desk, they're walked straight from their yacht to a reserved table or event, often by someone who knows their coffee order and where they left their sunglasses last summer. Michelin-starred dining isn't just an option, it's baked in. Chefs like Elaine Duncase and Mauro Colagreco have hosted pop-ups or private events within club grounds, especially during the summer high season. Events at these clubs aren't your average galas. During the Monaco Grand Prix, the yacht-lined harbor turns into a rolling guest list of actors, models, and CEOs. Film studios time their parties to coincide with Cannes, sending invites that get passed through handlers and exclusive concierge services. These aren't publicized events, you'll find out about them only if you're meant to be there. That could mean a beachside tasting with LVMH, or a low-lit soiree hosted on a deck somewhere between Club 55 in Saint-Tropez and the open sea. Club 55, while not a yacht club in the traditional sense, functions almost like one when it comes to crowd and culture. Boats can't dock directly, there is no marina, but that hasn't stopped names like Jeff Bezos, Beyoncé, or Elon Musk from sending tenders ashore for lunch. During peak weeks, the water just offshore is a floating showroom of nine-figure wealth, with yacht crews coordinating drop-offs and pickups down to the minute to avoid attention or delays. Even getting on a list at these places is a process. There is no walk-in policy. Some memberships are passed through family or negotiated through elite networks. Others are brokered by celebrity managers or top-tier concierge services who know exactly when to call and what to offer in return. These clubs are built to keep outsiders out, not out of rudeness, but because discretion is part of the product. But it's not all sunshine and champagne, these places also come with their share of complications. Joining the elite yacht scene doesn't just require connections, it takes money. A lot of it. Docking a super yacht at one of the most prestigious clubs in the world, like the Yacht de Monaco, can cost up to $4 million for a long-term berth lease. And that's just to park the thing. The real expenses start piling up once the engines are off. Running a yacht like David Geffen's Rising Sun can cost more than $10 million a year. That includes fuel, maintenance, insurance, and a full-time crew that can number over 40 people. These vessels are essentially floating hotels, complete with chefs, security staff, and stewards. Just fueling a yacht of that size for a Mediterranean summer can run into six figures. Add in docking fees in ports like Cannes or Ibiza, plus the cost of flying in guests or hosting events, and it quickly becomes clear. This lifestyle is built for a very small group of people. But with that exclusivity comes criticism. During the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, David Geffen posted an Instagram photo of Rising Sun anchored in the Grenadines, with the caption, isolated in the Grenadines avoiding the virus. I'm hoping everybody is staying safe. The backlash was immediate. While much of the world was locked down or struggling to access healthcare, the image of one of the richest men alive riding out the crisis on a $500 million yacht struck a nerve. That wasn't an isolated incident. Yacht culture in general has drawn scrutiny for being wasteful and out of touch. These boats burn through enormous amounts of fuel, contribute to ocean pollution, and anchor in fragile ecosystems. Environmental groups have flagged concerns about the impact of super yacht traffic in places like the Mediterranean and Caribbean, especially during peak seasons. There is also the financial side that raises eyebrows. Monaco and Bermuda, two hotspots for luxury yacht docking, have long been under the microscope for enabling tax avoidance. Owning a yacht through shell companies or offshore trusts is a known tactic to reduce tax liability. While not illegal, it feeds into the larger conversation about income inequality and how the ultra-wealthy operate under a different set of rules. Still, none of that has slowed the demand, and the next generation of stars is already sailing in. The yacht club scene isn't just an old money affair anymore. In the last few years, the faces showing up on the docks have started to change. Less about aristocrats and navy blazers, more about billionaires in hoodies and celebrities who came up through Instagram instead of Paris Match. Kylie Jenner was spotted boarding a chartered super yacht off Capri during her 22nd birthday trip with the kind of crew and setup that usually points to club affiliation, or, at the very least, a concierge working deep within that world. Travis Scott's been photographed arriving at marina events in Cannes, often flanked by stylists and security, blending streetwear with seaside luxury. Zendaya, who keeps a lower profile than most, still made waves when she attended an exclusive party during the Venice Film Festival, hosted partially on board a docked vessel known to be linked with a Monaco-based club. What's happening isn't just about appearances, it's a generational shift in how the space works. New tech money, think Evan Spiegel from Snapchat or Mark Anderson from A16s, has been easing into the scene not just as guests but as organizers. Ellie Hilfiger, daughter of designer Tommy Hilfiger, has been spotted co-hosting fashion and art events tied to private marinas in the Caribbean. These aren't red carpet affairs, there are closed-door, invite-only evenings where brands test product launches, and celebrities do deals far away from any traditional boardroom. What helps push this wave further are platforms like Yacht or Boatsetter. These charter apps are reshaping access to the super yacht experience, at least on the surface. They let wealthy but not billionaire users book boats in top-tier locations without owning one or joining a club. But even as they open a door, they reinforce the walls, because full membership in elite yacht clubs is still gated in ways no app can touch. The difference is, now younger names are finding workarounds. They're leveraging influence, partnerships, and co-branding opportunities to make it onto the invite list without going through the usual channels. A single post from someone like Hailey Bieber can earn her more than enough access leverage for the season. There is also an appetite for a different kind of experience. Less stiff, more curated. Younger celebrities want the yachts and the privacy, but they also want the playlist right and the lighting set for content, as well as the staff to be camera aware without being intrusive. The clubs that survive are the ones adapting to that. But where does this leave the rest of us? And why are these yacht clubs becoming more powerful than ever? At first glance, a yacht club seems like a quiet luxury. A place to dock, sip drinks, maybe take a dip. But that's just the surface. In reality, these marinas are some of the most carefully curated social media and business zones on the planet. For celebrities, designers, billionaires, and investors, the right yacht club isn't just a place to relax, it's a branding machine, a media strategy, and a boardroom that floats. Take Cannes, for example. Every May during the filming festival, super yachts stack up along the Côte d'Azur like floating hotel lobbies. They're not there for scenic tours, they're booked for press dinners, product launches, and closed-door meetings that split into the rest of the year's business. It's not uncommon for films to be greenlit between drink flutes or for brand deals to be outlined during a short cruise down the coast. Yachts become temporary headquarters. Some, like the Rising Sun, owned by David Geffen, turn into week-long party spots where media moguls, A-listers, and music execs cross paths without cameras or handlers. The presence of celebrities on board has a multiplier effect. One photo of Beyoncé and Jay-Z on their chartered yacht, whether in Italy, Croatia, or St. Bart's, triggered global interest, not just in the boat or destination, but in everything they're wearing and everything around them. Brands know this. Louis Vuitton, for instance, has hosted private events aboard yachts off the coast of Monaco during the Grand Prix. Moet & Chandon, a longtime Cannes sponsor, doesn't just serve drink at red carpet events. It makes sure the same bottles appear in yacht party photos that end up on social media, fashion blogs, and gossip columns. Even smaller brands play the long game. Getting a celebrity to wear a swimsuit, sunglasses, or a watch on the back of a yacht can push that item into global trend territory, especially when it ends up on Instagram or in a paparazzi shot syndicated worldwide. These posts blur the line between vacation and marketing campaign, and they work because they don't feel like ads, they feel aspirational, organic, like you're catching a glimpse into a lifestyle that isn't staged, even though most of it is. The influence extends to real estate. Properties near major marinas, like Porto Montenegro or Port Hercules in Monaco, skyrocket in value not just because of the view, but because of proximity. Being near where the yachts dock means access, whether for networking, branding, or simply being seen. Developers use this in their pitch decks. Penthouse listings reference what celebrities anchor nearby during the summer season, and high-end agents can rattle off which buildings are favored by certain yacht owners, as if it were part of the property's square footage. And then there's the business side, the part that's harder to capture on camera. Yacht clubs are where streaming deals are discussed before they ever get announced, where startup fundings around are floated over late-night cigars, where managers, artists, and CEOs run into each other far from red carpets or formal meetings. No conference room is quite the same mix of privacy and possibility, because for this crowd, the water isn't just for play, it's for power. So, if you had access to a floating palace and the right connections, would you join the club or stay on shore? Leave your thoughts in the comments.